Bíirmínghām manuscripts. You've all been told that the oldest Quran has now been found here in England, in Birmingham. That came out about 2 months ago. And you heard that the date on that is 568 to 645. You've heard that this is about the same time that Muhammad lived. He was born in 570 and he died in 632. Therefore, it corresponds with the date that the Prophet Muhammad lived. About the same time period. And of course, many Muslims are saying, including also Dr. Thomas in Birmingham, is saying this is so close to the time of the Prophet Muhammad that these could be the very words of Muhammad written down on parchment by those who knew him. Are you all hearing that? There's a number of problems, and we're going to go into those problems. One of the first problem is we need to look at the classical account. What does the classical account say? And according to the classical account, you will see that Al-Bukhari, in volume 6, hadith number 509 and hadith number 510, that it's very clear according to the traditions, it's very clear according to Al-Bukhari, writing in the 9th century. Now remember, he's writing this in the 9th century. He died in 970. Sorry, 870, the 9th century, 870. So about 240 years after the Prophet died, Al-Bukhari tells us that it was Uthman, the Caliph Uthman, that compiled the Quran in its final form. That when Muhammad died, the Quran had not been written down in its entirety. It had, yes, those people had memorized it. Parts of it had been written on stones. Some of it had been written on bark. Some of it had been written on other pieces, but it was not compiled as a complete book. According to the traditions, there was one book that was written at the time of Abu Bakr, about 632 to 634, about 2 years after Muhammad's death. And that was given to one of the wives of Muhammad called Hafsa. She put it under her bed and it remained there for about 18 years. In 650, according to Al-Bukhari, what we read here, in 650, during the time of Uthman, the third caliph, he had 4 men, Zayd ibn Thabit, Zubair, Alas, and Harith, rewrite the Quran. And then they were to take that final copy, the Uthmanic recension, and send it to the many provinces. Now, we know that 4 of them were sent to 4 cities. There have been many, probably others who were sent to other cities. We know one was left in Medina. We know one was sent to Basra. We know one was sent to Baghdad. We know one was sent to Damascus. So that's the final Quran. That's the Quran, supposedly, that we have in our hand today. That's what we're looking for. Therefore, after that, what we do know then is, according here, he took all the manuscripts, whole copies, and he burnt them. So those that were left behind, the manuscripts that this final copy was derived from, all these other manuscripts were then burnt in 650 at the time of Uthman, according to Al-Bukhari,
Can you read what Al-Bukhari said?
In 870.
Can you read the text for us?
He ordered that all the other Quranic materials, whether written in fragmentary manuscripts or whole copies, be burnt.
So now, he ordered. That's what you just said earlier.
We're going to continue on.
No. Wait a second. You said he made sure, your understanding was he actually burned them all. But what you just read, when I asked you to read, he ordered it to be burnt. There's a difference between ordering something to be done and seeing it to be done.
So were there some manuscripts that were not burnt?
So my point is,
here we go.
Read what
were there manuscripts
there,
that were not
rather
burnt?
than make up your own mind.
And Mansoor is going to say, yes, there are manuscripts that were not burnt. Fine, let's hold that. Let's assume you're correct. There were some manuscripts that did not get burnt.
State things correctly. I'm just correcting you.
There may have been manuscripts. And I'm going to agree with Mansoor I agree with you.
Carry on.
There were some manuscripts that were not burnt. We're going to get to that. It gets better, folks.
Yeah, well done to you.
So
Carry
that
on.
is the classical account, and that's the account all of you have heard for 1,200 years, since the 9th century. This is what you're taught in your schools. This is what you're taught in your seminaries. This is what you're taught in all of the universities, even here in England. This is the only narrative you've ever heard, right?
No, that's not true. There are
This is
other
the only
narratives.
narrative you're not
That is
heard.
not the only narrative we've heard. We've heard so many other narratives.
Okay, fine.
So why are you lying?
This is the one that we
Excuse
find
me.
in Al-Bukhari.
Hang on. Why are
This
you
is
lying?
the classical account. Now here we're going to ask you some damaging questions. Look at these dates. 568 to 645. Do these predate or postdate 650? Even the latest date, 645, is still 5 years before the time of Uthman. That's the first problem.
What's the date of?
What's the median date for
Wait.
658?
What is a median
to
date in carbon
645?
dating? Excuse me.
What does the median date?
No, what are you talking
is
about?
the central date?
Wait. In carbon
What
dating,
is the central date?
in carbon dating, do you have such a thing as a median date?
Hold on, we're talking about the median date.
Wait.
Because here the Muslims will say
What is
we
the
have to
me-
use the latest date.
Wait. What is a median? Do you know what carbon dating is done?
We know how carbon dating
Okay.
is done.
Tell us about the 1 sigma and 2 sigma variances. Go on.
We're not going to talk about the 1 sigma. I don't
Do you
know
even
what
know
the ones they are.
them? Do you know what they are?
But we know that
hang
between
on.
these two dates, the median date is 606.
Excuse me. Do you know what the 1 sigma and 2 sigma variances
Is
are?
that important for this?
Very important.
Okay,
in carbon
go ahead,
dating.
tell us why
no,
that's
do
important.
you know them?
Why is that important?
Because I don't think you know them.
No, I don't. You're
So
right.
if-
Why is that important?
Wait. Someone who doesn't even know what a 1 sigma and 2 sigma variance in carbon dating is talks about a median date. So obviously you have no knowledge about the subject in the first place.
Okay, go ahead. What's your
No.
point?
So
Mansoor, tell us your point.
hang on.
Hurry up.
Wait a second.
We're not going to wait.
Wait
We
a
want
second.
to know what your point
Wait
is.
a second. So why are you not trying to learn about this 1 sigma and 2 sigma variances? Why aren't you learning it?
What's your point?
Because everything you say.
Are you saying, therefore, that we should not use a median date? That we should not find what is the strongest date between the two variants?
Do carbon
dating is not
dating.
exact.
Do scholars.
dating is not exact.
Hang on.
He's only correcting you.
Brother.
Don't worry.
Okay,
Do
give us your point.
Do scholars, like where it's done in Oxford, right? Radiocarbon accelerator unit.
Go ahead.
Do they use a median date in radiocarbon dating?
They take the two variants and they come to the median date. That's
Really?
why we want to look at the median
Really?
date. Because
Have
what
you-
the
wait.
Muslims are not telling
Excuse
you
me.
is that they've got
Jay,
first.
you got that wrong. You got that wrong.
Hold on. Here we
Where in Oxford they actually mentioned a median date? Go on, tell us. Where did you see that? Where did you hear it? Where did you read it?
We're putting the median date
Oh,
there.
you are putting.
Because the
So are
Muslims
these
only
scholars
want
doing
you
that?
to look at the later dates.
So basically, you have no
Even the
understanding
later
how
dates
carbon dating
are earlier
works,
than
and you put a
Uthman.
median date.
Statistically, you go
Hang
for
on.
the median. You don't go for the latest.
No, my friend. Is it possible?
Listen, listen to what I'm
Is it-
saying. The median date
Listen.
is a reason. The reason we put there is
Why
because
is
the
it?
Muslims don't want us to do this.
Why is it that they
They
give a
only
1 sigma
want you
and 2
to
sigma
do the later
variance?
dates.
Do you know why? What is the
Hold
1
on a
sigma
minute.
variance? Go and tell us. What's the 1
Hold
sigma
on a
variance?
minute. Is this the only manuscript that has been dated?
No, there are various others.
There are various others. Give me another one.
The British Library one.
The British Library. What are the dates, the carbon dating on that?
You tell me.
I don't know. I don't know the British Library. Give me the
Oh,
ones right
you don't
now.
know?
I don't know the ones on the British Library.
Okay. How many others do you know of?
I know of 2 others that we're going to talk about.
Okay, just 2 others?
We're going to about 2 others.
I can give you 5 if you're interested. So you only know about 2 carbon dating when the scholars talk about 5 at least.
Okay, give me the dates for the Mu'il one.
So
Give me the dates for the Mu'il one.
So you want us to teach you again in Speaker's Corner?
Mansoor,
Have you not gone to our
if you're going
website?
to bring it up, give us the numbers. What are the dates for the Mu'il manuscripts?
Do you really want to know? Let's see if I can give you the dates.
While he's doing that,
No, stop there. Don't talk. Don't talk.
don't talk, he says. You want to talk, you can get your own ladder. We're going to keep talking, folks.
Don't.
You might learn
Remember
something.
the date we're looking for.
You might learn
We're
something.
looking to see if these folios, and these are not full manuscripts, these are folios. The Bbirmingham folios
There you
are
go.
just 2 pages,
Right.
front and back of both pages.
Carbon dated manuscripts. You listening?
Give us for the money.
You know? I'm going to give you something. I'm going to see whether you're aware of it or not. So let's hear some of them. Have you heard of R38 manuscript R38?
Say again, which one?
R38. Have you heard of BNF 331?
Yes, I have.
Okay, when is it dated to?
The dating is, I don't know the date for it. I know of the manuscript. I know of the folios.
So do you know when it's dated to roughly?
BN 331.
331.
That's the Biblio Nacional. That's the Biblio
Yes.
Nacional.
And when is it dated
Done
to by
their-
radiocarbon dating?
The Roche has dated that to the 8th century.
No, carbon dating.
what's the
Radiocarbon
carbon
dating.
dating for that?
I'm asking you, do you know?
Actually, we do know that.
When is it dated?
Right here.
Yeah, go on, tell me.
There are the dates.
Which one?
This is BN.
Yeah?
This is from. No, I'm sorry. This is not the BN one. I'm sorry.
Ah,
this is
all
the
right.
Sana manuscript.
Right.
Okay.
So,
what's the BN one?
what about
331.
what about
Give us the date for the BN
wait,
331.
wait. So you don't know? I would like you to learn.
No, go ahead. We're going to learn from
47.
Mansour what the dating
No.
is for the BN 331.
CAF 47. QAF 47. Have you heard of that?
Have not heard of that.
Right. So why are you so reluctant to learn then? We put this up in Islamic awareness long time ago and
Go
you
ahead.
want to read.
What are the dates for those? The carbon 14 dates.
These are all within the 7th century.
Give me the dates. Name them out. What are they?
No, I'm not going to teach you the dates. I'm going to go and ask you to read the dates.
He's just wasting your time. Let you guys
You're wasting our time.
Wait. So let me give you some of them, okay? Just because you want to,
need
okay?
to speak on behalf
I'll have
of
to
your guy.
spoon feed you. Anyway. So R38, 95% probability is 648 to 691. 68% probability is 656 to 675. You didn't know that because you are so reluctant to learn.
No, and I
So
know
now
I
you
don't
know
have
that.
a difficulty
Right.
with the BN, the British
Right.
National. I'm
Right.
sorry, the Bibliothèque
Right.
Nationale in Paris.
What about...
We do know the BNF is a later date. But you're not talking about the Sana manuscript.
Okay, let's talk about the Sana manuscript.
Get to the Sana manuscript.
How many times has it been dated by radiocarbon dating?
Twice.
Wrong. Try again.
Twice it has now been
Try
dated.
again. I give you
Recently.
The opportunity. Now I give you the chance. Try again, so you can correct yourself.
Go
Try
ahead.
again.
Let me hear what you have to say.
No, I'm not going to tell you what to say. Try again, because your ignorance is not going to help anyone in
Okay.
the crowd here.
Gabriel said
Wait,
Reynolds. Do you know who Gabriel said
You-
Reynolds?
wait.
Dr. Gabriel
Look,
said
look.
Reynolds. Mansour,
I am
do
not
you know who
interested in
Dr.
your
Gabriel
ignorance.
said Reynolds is? Are you familiar with him?
Has he
He
retracted?
is actually he is head of department at Notre Dame University
On
in
what
the United
specialty?
States, in
What's-
Indiana.
what's his specialty?
And his specialty is the Quran.
Quran what?
And
What
he
is
is
that?
now quoting. Hold on a minute.
No,
he
hold
didn't
on.
do the material.
Let's go to
He is
Solomon.
now quoting two different laboratories that have just now dated the Sana manuscript.
Yeah, which one?
And I haven't looked and seen which ones they are.
All right.
They are fragments from the Sana manuscript.
Uh-huh.
They are fragments that are dated both in Arizona laboratory and in Lyon in France.
What are the dates?
Here we go. We're going to show you the dates. You notice Mansour doesn't like you to hear these dates. But take a look at these dates. 543 to 643.
Which manuscript is that?
This is the Sana
I
manuscript.
know which one.
I don't know which one it is.
I don't know which one.
I don't know
Just
which
the Sana.
one it is
How
off
many
the top of my
manuscripts have
head.
you, Sana? So many.
But look at the lower one.
Wait.
Look at the lower one.
You got him today, man.
443 to 599.
Which one is that?
443 to 599. Now these are both from the Sana manuscripts.
Which Sana you don't know?
Gabriel said Reynolds didn't give us the actual numbers.
Are these the only two radiocarbon dating done on that particular manuscript?
Let me look at the dates, folks.
No, I'm asking you because I have a Sana manuscript that is dated by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different labs.
And what are the dates for those?
Wait a moment. I'm asking you a simple question. These two dates that you are quoting of a manuscript which you have no idea about,
Go ahead.
have they been only dated in these two labs or are they dated elsewhere?
So here we're going to see, can you see, folks? What he wants to say is there are different dates for different parts of the manuscript, therefore we can't trust
No,
the earliest
no.
dates.
Let me correct
But
you.
let me look and see.
Let me correct you, Jay. Let me correct
Let me
you.
look and see.
Let's correct
Why
you.
is it that these
Right.
dates are so early?
Jay, let me correct you once
ahead,
again.
Summons.
Right. The Codex Sana 1 INV dot 01 dash 27.1. So I gave you which Sana manuscript. So now you've learned, right? So what did you say? This is 80 folio manuscript. It's been carbon dated at Lyon, Zurich, Oxford, Arizona, and Kiel. Do you know the differences in the dating? Let me show you how there can be differences. In Leon's, 95% probability was between 388 to 535. Even before, see how so early?
4th century
Wait.
to the 5th century.
Listen.
Thank you, you're making my point.
Yeah, and you will learn something about carbon dating.
Here we're gonna go.
Right. In Kiel, it was dated to what? 95% probability of 430 to 611. In Arizona, 576 to 670. In Zurich, I'm talking about the 95%, 566 to 657. In Oxford, 595 to 658. Folks, I'm using your term. Folks, did you notice? Each lab has differences within the rangings of their dates. So how do scholars interpret these variations of data within different labs?
Here we go, folks.
Certainly.
Why is it?
Wait,
And how
I
do
haven't
we
finished
interpret
yet.
it? Let's go to that interpretation.
First of all, scholars would take Lyon's, if you were to compare between Oxford and Lyon, or Lyon, how do you pronounce it?
Lyon.
Lyon. Which one would they go for and why?
They go for the 443 to 599.
No. Between the
They
two
could have
labs.
gone for the 341, the one that's in the 4th century.
You're not listening to the
But
question,
they're
Jay.
going to the 5th and 6th century.
Scholars, would they prefer the lab in Oxford or in Lyon? And why?
I would suggest that they prefer both laboratories.
Wrong again, try again.
They would prefer both laboratories, and you'll see why.
No.
Mansoor, we're going to show you
No,
why.
I'm giving you a chance
Because why is
to
it we're
correct
finding
yourself.
such early dates?
Why?
Why is it we're finding dates
You're
that
not
even
making,
predate the
you're not
Birmingham
making sense,
dates?
Jay. I'm giving you a chance to learn.
Mansoor, I'm going to answer
So-
you. You asked the question,
What?
let me answer.
The scholars
There
would
is
not
a
take me
reason,
on.
folks. What are these manuscripts?
Jay, let's
What are they? Where do they come from?
Jay,
It's obviously that they're
He's
pre-Quranic.
waffling again, he's
It's obviously they're pre-Muhammad. And it's obviously they're
Do they
pre-Islamic.
have all the labs? Are they equal in their testing procedure?
Are they equal?
Are they equal
I
and
would
robust?
suggest that you're going to find manuscripts that will even go back to the 2nd century.
my question
the more
to you,
we
Jay.
test, the more we're going to see
Are
different
these
dates.
labs in their testing procedure, in their robustness, are they the same or are there differences between them? And
Listen,
we say
I
one
trust
of
the
them.
Lyon lab, I trust the Arizona lab, I trust the
Answer
Oxford
the
lab,
question.
and I trust the Zurich lab.
not
But
a scholar,
folks, can
that's
you
why.
see what we're getting
Answer
to?
Oh, that's you. I'm not talking
I
about
am
you.
answering it, Ali.
What about
Look and see what we're
what
finding.
about the scholars?
You're
Which
gonna
one would they
find,
trust?
folks, that there are
Which
gonna be
lab
many
would they
dates.
go for?
But do you notice, most of these newer dates are earlier than the time of Muhammad.
The scholars would go to which lab between the five?
They would go to all 5. They would go to all 5.
Have you asked them? Have you read their papers?
Are you saying that one lab cannot be trusted
No.
while
Have
another
you-
lab is trusted?
have you
and they're
read-
using the same process.
Excuse me,
They're
have
using
you
the
read-
same dating initiatives.
Listen
They're
carefully.
using the same mechanics.
Jay, listen carefully.
Go ahead.
Have you read their articles where they're discussing these issues about carbon dating Sinai manuscripts?
And there's
And what the scholars
and they're
say, which
dismissing the Lyon lab, is
No, no.
what you're saying.
Answer the question.
I
I'm
don't know
asking
of
you.
anybody that dismisses the Lyon lab.
You haven't finished.
But folks, can you see
You
why?
Answer the question.
You haven't
is
heard
it-
my question, have you?
Ali, I have answered it.
you haven't
Here we
heard
go,
my
folks.
question.
You're waffling
Why
again.
is it that that the Muslims don't want to accept these early dates?
It's not Muslim. Why are the
They wanted to
scholars?
say that
Why
the
are the
scholars
scholars
are disputing
saying-
with the Lyon lab. The scholars are disputing with the Arizona
No,
lab.
which scholar? Jay?
You need to ask a better, bigger
Jay,
question.
which scholar
And you
goes
notice
to
that
the Lyon?
these dates are pre-Islamic
Jay,
for a
which
reason.
scholar?
Jay,
Which scholar?
would you be kind enough to tell us which scholar?
Did I just give you his name?
No, listen.
Gabriel said
Hang on.
Reynolds.
Which
Gabriel said Reynolds has just now come out in the last 2 weeks. He is now dated, and he is saying, this is curious, because what you're going to find, there's another word going on in Germany. We know that the Corpus Coronicus is also dating. And they're finding
Corpus
similar
Coronicum,
dates.
not Coronicus.
The Corpus Coronicum is also coming out with similar dates. But folks, why is it the Muslims don't want you to hear this?
Why is it that they don't
Why
ask
is it that
questions?
they're fearful
I
of
was
this?
wondering why you didn't get your
And
PhD
what is it that we're looking
Now I
at
know.
here?
So let's talk about the
Remember
Sinai
what we
manuscript
said here.
dating.
Let's repeat it.
No, we want to know the
Let me repeat this game again. What did we say at the very beginning?
Let's return to the
What did
Sinai.
we say? This is the classical account.
Excuse me, Jay.
This is the 9th
Don't move on
century
yet. We
account.
haven't finished with Sinai manuscript.
But
So
what
let's
we're
talk
now
about
finding Now he disputes these
Jay,
dates.
Jay.
He doesn't like these dates.
It's
and
not
he
about
is
I
trying to find
liking or
scholars
not.
that will agree with him.
It's not about me
But
liking or
forget
you liking,
about
Jay.
the dates.
Jay.
We realize
Jay,
that
listen.
they are all, most of them are now going to be
Jay,
Islamic.
listen.
Go ahead, Mansour.
According to the Quranic scholars, experts,
Yes.
right. So according to Deroche, for example, do you think Deroche is a better qualified than your scholar, Gabriel Reynolds, on
I
this
think
issue?
DeRoche is going to have to change most of what he has written. Because DeRoche has not been using the carbon dating. He has been using paleographical studies, which are fine, and we need that. But remember, everything that we have used to date has followed this model. We have assumed that this was correct. We have assumed, therefore, that the Arabic was unstylized. The Arabic was very crude in the 7th century. That the diacritical marks were only added in the 8th century. That's what we've always assumed.
I haven't finished with the Sana manuscript
These
yet, Jay.
datings are much
Jay,
earlier
Jay,
than the 7th century.
Jay, listen.
Mansour, let me finish
No,
now.
before
Let me
you
finish.
waffle, enough of waffling. Let's deal with the subject. Because every week in Cup, no Muslim can answer it. Maybe some Muslims can. So let's see whether some Muslim can answer your question, because you want to speak to someone who doesn't know the subject. Let me ask you, the Sana manuscript, the Dam 20, 33-1, is that already carbon dated?
I assume it is because you just said so about 10 minutes ago.
I didn't talk about that.
You said the 331. You asked me if I knew it.
No, that was BNF 331 in Paris.
Okay, what is the Dam 331? What is the Sana manuscript? What is the dates on it?
Is it already carbon dated?
I have no idea if it's been carbon
Okay,
dated.
fine. So why don't you read our papers that we write for you to learn, but you don't want to learn? Besides the point. It's been dated, the parchment has been dated. What about the ink?
Ink has not been dated on any of these.
According to who?
We know that they're not been dated. And we're waiting for the ink to be dated.
Have you read Deroche's book?
On the Umayyad,
Yeah?
Yes, I have.
And you haven't read anything like
that? Did he date the ink?
No, I'm asking you, did you
He
read
said
it?
clearly that the ink is not dated. We need to date the ink.
This particular manuscript, to my knowledge, ink's been dated. And do you know the difference between the parchment and the ink? How close they are? Are they early? Is the ink early, contemporaneous, or later?
It's always later, obviously, because the parchment's first.
Right. So how late is it, do you think? Just have a guess.
I have no idea. Go ahead, Mansour, give us a...
So like this particular manuscript, 95%, you know what the 95%, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what it means?
I said the 95 percentile is within those two ranges.
Do you know what it means, 95%
Well,
means?
it's better than 94%. Go ahead.
Okay, so fine.
Very technical answer.
Very technical. 645 to 690. The ink's being dated 700 to 730. How far off are these parchment dating to ink dating?
About 30 years.
30 years. So now let's return the Birmingham manuscript.
Okay, hold on a minute. 30 years would be the latest date. The earliest would be 5 years. 5 to 30 years.
645 to 690, and it's 700, so that's 10 years.
10 years.
Right, 10 years. So let's return to the Birmingham manuscript.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Wait, I haven't finished.
Are there palimpsests? Are there writings underneath? Yes, there are. On the Dam 331, there are also inks underneath. There are different layers of ink. On the Sana manuscript, am I not correct? And when you look at the different layers, you will see that those will be earlier. Those we have yet to look at, and that's why we're waiting for Elizabeth Quinn's book.
If you have a 10-year gap in the ink dating to parchment dating, translate that to the Birmingham manuscript. So you get an extra 10 years, if you to generalize, and that date falls into which reign? Which Khalifa's reign? Uthman's reign. Fitting exactly with your traditional account. So you should retire and go home.
But we're not going to the Birmingham manuscript. Have you noticed? He only wants to stay with the Birmingham manuscript.
Which manuscript?
We're going to now go to the Sana manuscripts. We're going to look at these dates. Now, folks, why is it that we are finding earlier dates?
You don't even know which one you're talking
Why are we
about.
finding these earlier dates? What's the significance?
They got a good assistant now.
Is there any point talking anymore? Do you want to talk about the top copy? Because I want to teach you something which
Here we're going to go look at these, folks. What do we know about the Quran? When you look at the Quran, you will see that much of it is borrowed from other sources.
Just like the Bible. Just like the Bible.
Bible, we're not talking about the Bible. We don't need to talk about the Bible today.
Have a same standard.
What we have noticed, folks, is many of the stories,
Just like the Bible.
many of the stories
Just like the
in the
Bible.
Quran are borrowed
Do you want
from
to know
other sources.
which
And what
stories
were
the
these
Bible
other
has
sources?
borrowed? So what point
You
are
know
you
the stories.
The Bible has borrowed
We know in the
stories.
Quran the stories like Cain and Abel.
You're going to be consistent, Jay.
Stories of Surah 5,
Let's
ayat
hope
27
Jay's going to
to
be
32.
consistent.
Have you noticed that that is not in our Bible? We don't have any story of Cain killing his brother, watching a bird scratching in the ground, and burying his brother like he follows the example of the raven. So where does that story come from? We know where that story comes from. It does not come from Muhammad. It does not come from Jibril. It comes from the Targum of Jonathan ben Uzziah, written in the 2nd century.
And redacted till
A
when?
good 600 years earlier.
No, that's written presumably. Do you have a manuscript from that date?
Oh, listen, we have lots of material from that date.
Okay, which
Here we
manuscript?
go.
Which manuscript?
And hear what's interesting.
Wait.
These
Don't-
are the stories that the
Excuse me.
Jews passed
Jay,
down.
I'm not going to let you go on this
That's
one.
the story of
Jay,
Abraham.
the sources which... Targum, Talmud, Mishnah, which one did you say?
The Targums, the Mishnahs,
No, that
the
particular.
Sanhedrin.
Cain
These
and
are
Abel.
all Jewish apocryphal
Slowly.
accounts.
Cain and Abel's story comes from where?
It comes from the Targum of Jonathan ben Uzziah,
Targum of Jonathan ben Uzziah.
written in the 2nd century.
The extant
Well
man...
known
Wait,
in the 2nd
let me
century.
finish. The extant manuscript of this Targum dates from where? When?
9th century.
9th century. Is that post-Islamic or pre-Islamic?
You see what he's saying?
Game's up.
He wants to dismiss every one of it. He wants to dismiss all of them.
Next
And we
point.
have not only
This is how we refute
we
you.
also have many references.
Every week, because hello, Fanda fans, this is what happens. When he speaks, he doesn't speak to people who know.
Do we also
Jay.
have an extant manuscript
Jay.
of the Mishnah
Jay.
Sanhedrin?
Jay.
And what does the Mishnah Sanhedrin say, Mansoor?
When is it
About
dated?
Surah 5,
When is it
ayat
dated?
31.
When is it dated? Extant manuscript dated when?
What does the extant manuscript of
No,
the
when is it
of the
dated?
Mishnah Sanhedrin?
Yes.
That's a 5th century manuscript.
Where is the manuscript?
Where is it?
Yeah, where is
It's
it?
written in the 5th century.
No,
Who
no.
wrote it?
Is this extant?
Scribe taking that which is written by Benedict
Jay,
Uzziah.
you better listen
from
to the question
2nd
that we
century.
ask.
He writes out the story of
Do we have
Cain and Abel,
an extant
but he
manuscript of
writes about the
Sanhedrin?
blood of Abel.
Excuse me,
And
Jay.
what does he say about the blood
Jay,
of Abel?
it's time for you to
Mansoor,
engage.
Mansoor.
Engage.
We have
Don't
engaged.
run away.
Mansoor,
and
let me
waffle.
finish my point.
No.
Before you keep yelling and yelling,
Yeah.
listen to what
We're
I'm
going to
saying.
talk about the Sanhedrin.
Look and see.
Don't
what it
jump away
says
from this.
In the verse 32.
I'm going to
the very
refute you,
next
God
verse.
willing, point by point today.
Mansoor,
I'm
listen
giving
to
you
what
the
I'm saying.
mercy today.
Listen
from
to
the
what I'm
Muslims.
saying. These are Jewish apocryphal accounts.
Sanhedrin,
These are well known
the
by the
extant
5th century.
manuscript of
These were
Sanhedrin
not created
dates from
after
when?
the Quran was written.
Can someone
None
find
of
me a
these were
ladder?
created after the
I'm
Quran
going
was
to teach
written.
this guy a lesson today.
And you see
if you're
why
brave
the
enough,
suit
pass
doesn't
the
like
ladder
it.
over.
Go down,
Yeah?
go down.
Because
brave
the
enough.
suit
Do you want to offer me your ladder today?
Are you brave
Jay,
enough?
down, man.
Jay,
Go
do you want to offer the ladder
Brave
today?
enough to give a ladder?
I want to have a debate on this.
No, we're going to talk just like we're
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, let's do it.
Just like we're talking, we're going to carry on.
Go ahead, fine.
Right, thank you very much. Are you okay?
You're not allowed. What you do right
I
here?
don't have one. No, I'm going to stand
Just
on
do it here to here.
Oh, come on.
Stand on the ladder. I want you to report this.
Give him the leather.
Equal.
Equal opportunity.
So we're not talking about a debate, we're going to carry on. So I'm going to ask you, the manuscripts, extant manuscripts of Sanhedrin, dates from when?